Whitney Houston's mother and acclaimed singer Cissy Houston has passed away. Drake is sending some sort of weird message in his Instagram stories by posting a photo of Solange and Aaliyah after the elevator incident, and then Aaliyah. And Jussie Smollett is revealing that he spent nearly $3 million in defending himself against the charges that he faced in Chicago for the random racist hoax. Welcome back to the Kempire channel, your number one source for pop culture news and music, entertainment, reality TV, and so much more. As always, be sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit that notification bell so you never miss out on breaking news when we go live or when we upload. So just a couple of hours ago, we found out that Whitney Houston's mother and acclaimed singer, Cissy Houston, passed away at the age of 91 years old. So this is what the Associated Press is reporting in regards to Cissy Houston and her final hours. They said Cissy Houston, the mother of the late Whitney Houston and a two-time Grammy winner who performed alongside the superstar musicians like Elvis Presley, Aretha Franklin, and of course her own daughter, has died. She was 91 years old. So according to the Associated Press, Houston died Monday morning in her New Jersey home while under hospice care for Alzheimer's disease. Her daughter-in-law, Pat Houston, also the overseer of Whitney Houston's estate, told the Associated Press, she said the acclaimed gospel singer was surrounded by her family. In this statement, Pat Houston says, "Our hearts are filled with pain and sadness. We lost the matriarch of our family." She said her mother-in-law's contributions to popular music and culture are, quote, unparalleled. Mother Cissy has been a strong and towering figure in our lives, a woman of deep faith and conviction who cared greatly about family, ministry, and community. Her more than 7-decade career in music and entertainment will remain at the forefront of our hearts. Although Cissy Houston is probably widely known as Whitney Houston's mother, she really did have a very vast career before we even knew of who Whitney Houston is. And of course, probably one of those most viral moments of her doing background vocals for Aretha Franklin still reigns supreme on social media today. But Cissy Houston was a fierce advocate for Whitney Houston throughout her career. And we saw that from the very beginning of Whitney's career till the end. But one of the things that I thought about as I was covering the story is like, this is just so crazy to me. Because like, what happens to Whitney's estate? As I said to you before, Pat Houston, who I never trusted. I've said this before, if you've ever seen any of the stories I've covered on Whitney Houston and my mention of Pat Houston, just something about Pat Houston, the way that she's handled Whitney's estate over the years, just always felt like a money grab. But I say all that to say this. With Whitney Houston being gone, Bobby Christina being gone, and the other person that was entitled to Whitney Houston's money and estate now gone, Cissy Houston. So all that money now goes where? Pat Houston and, of course, Whitney's brother. I just wanted to point that out. I just find that to be just sad. But speaking of sad, Drake wants to get all the attention away from him just floundering after his beef with Kendrick Lamar this year. He's posted a bunch of random Instagram stories, but a lot of people are paying attention to him posting Solange Knowles right after the major elevator incident from years ago where she was kicking and punching Jay-Z. That's important to note. He posted that in his Instagram stories, Drake. And then right after that, he posted Aaliyah. So a lot of people are saying, does this have anything to do with the Diddy of it all? Because as you know, there's been so many speculations about Diddy's association with Jay-Z. So people are connecting saying, wait, Solange hitting Jay-Z in the elevator, and then you're going to post Aaliyah. Is there a connection? Look, I don't know about the Solange part, but we already know that Drake has a very unhealthy obsession with Aaliyah. But the connection, it makes us wonder, have you been watching too many YouTube videos, these Jaguar Wright interviews? Drake is just so bored with his life. Drake, this might be the time for you to get into a serious relationship, maybe get married, settle down, because I think you're just so entrenched into your career and nothing else that you're bored and now you're just doing anything. I say all that to say, speaking of doing anything for attention, Jussie Smollett. As you know, we've been covering the Jussie Smollett case since everything played out. Jussie Smollett was then convicted and sentenced, started serving his time. Then he was able to get out without serving his full time. He's supposed to go back. He's been fighting this case. And we find out that he spent nearly $3 million in defending himself. I know Empire did well. It didn't do that well, especially when you see some of the other co-stars from Empire not doing well financially. So where did this $3 million come from? I don't know. So our friends over at The Hollywood Reporter write this. Jussie Smollett is speaking out about his ongoing legal case stemming from a 2019, we're in 2024, y'all, racist and homophobic attack that he allegedly staged against himself. The Empire alum who recently returned to the big screen in The Lost Holiday, which he directed, co-wrote, produced, and stars in, spoke about his ongoing effort to appeal his 2021 disorderly conduct conviction after he was accused of staging that attack and lying about it to Chicago police. In a sit-down interview with Entertainment Tonight, seemingly done as a part of his Lost Holiday promotion, which has included a smattering of interviews, the actor maintained his innocence, saying that he's still fighting for the truth of what happened to emerge. He says, I want to have all of these things in my life, and I don't want to have a felony on my record for something I didn't do, Smollett said in part. That's what we're fighting for. I know that on the surface, it probably seems like, why doesn't he just serve the time? Why doesn't he just let this go? It would be easier if I had in fact done this to say that I did it. I wouldn't have spent almost $3 million of my own money. I wouldn't have had a trial.
But when I extract my emotions, when I extract even, dare I say, my ego from this, I can understand why people feel the way that they do, specifically because of the narrative that was spun and was given to them. I've stood by not my truth, but the truth the entire time for almost 6 years. I haven't switched my story up. I haven't changed anything that I've ever said. I stand by every single thing that I've ever said. Everyone else in the situation, every single person has changed their story numerous times. The only problem is that people tend to think that I somehow fooled them when in actuality it was the other way around. Everyone else fooled them, so I don't know what else to say about that.
So they said after Smollett was arrested in 2019 and accused of staging the attack, the charges against him were dropped, then refiled a year later, and he was convicted in 2021 of 5 felony counts of disorderly conduct. He's a felon. Sorry. We know quite a few popular felons that are running free. But look, I'm just saying, I'm not one of those people to compare felonies. Okay. He's since appealed the conviction with the case currently being reviewed by the Illinois Supreme Court. He admits that as an entertainer and businessman, he should stop fighting because at this particular point, it's a waste of money. We could have actually moved on. I think the world would have moved on. And of course, it probably would always hover over him, but he could have moved on, served his time. It's not a lot. It wasn't a lot of time. It wasn't like he was going to be a year in prison. He could have served his time, moved on, created. To say that this is the principle of it all. So Jussie, who exactly then attacked you then? You said it was white men with a MAGA hat, turned out to be these Nigerian men that are not MAGA. Okay. He says in a quote, but as a human being and as a man, as a black man, an openly gay black man, please stop it. This is why they always say, why there's no racism doesn't exist anymore. It's because of people like Jussie Smollett that misuse it when it doesn't need to be used. He says, but as a human being and as a man, as a black man, an openly gay black man, I have a problem with letting them win on something that they shouldn't be able to. He says, I'm a grown man and something happened. I can't tell exactly what did happen, but I can tell you what did not happen.
Girl. This girl is delusional.
What? What did he just... I'm going to read it again to you because that's exactly what he said. Maybe this is what he said in court and this is why he was convicted. I'm a grown man and something happened. I can't tell exactly what did happen, but I can tell you what did not happen. That's what I have to sit on. No matter how much people are yelling in my face saying, you're a liar, you're a liar. No, I'm not. No, I'm not. I don't want them to believe that, but if that is what they believe, that's on you. Looking back on the nearly 6 years since Smollett said that he was attacked in early 2019, he says that there are a million things he would have done differently. Specifically, he regrets doing a high-profile sit-down about what he claimed happened to him before he was charged with disorderly conduct with Good Morning America's Robin Roberts. You remember that interview. He says, I wish I hadn't done the interview. I never wanted to. I watched it and I was mortified. Why were you mortified? Smollett last year reportedly entered rehab for substance abuse, something that he said that he was told that he couldn't do previously. I've wanted to do it for a number of years, and to be honest, I was told I couldn't. He argued that one of the challenges of fighting the very things that are untrue is how some truths did not come into play, that they used to kind of prove things that were not true. What is he saying? So there were those moments where I was like, oh my goodness, oh my life is kind of, oh well, I didn't do that. And they're like, I am sorry, I'm reading this verbatim, y'all. But you did this, and I'm like, I did do that. I did buy that. And there are things like that I've had to talk to my family about, that I've had to talk to friends about. I'm okay with accepting responsibility for things that I've actually done. I'm just not okay with accepting responsibility for the things that I did not do. Smollett maintained that he has not changed his story throughout this ordeal. He said, I've stood by not my truth, but the truth for the entire time, almost 6 years, he said. I haven't switched my story up. I haven't changed anything that I have ever done. I stand by every single thing that I've ever said. Everyone else in the situation, every single person has changed their story numerous times. So what about the white men in the MAGA hats, when clearly the dark-skinned black Nigerian men were the ones that were there, that alleged that you plotted and planned this with them? I just can't. At the end of the day, Jussie, you are extending this. And I don't think it has anything to do with drugs, because clearly he's sober now. So for me, this is something mental. And I just wish that you get the help that you need. Because what is the truth then? What exactly did happen? But there will always be Jussie Smollett fans. Good for you. I'm not one of them.
Hell no.
Guys, I want to know your reaction to some of our hot topics. Let's continue this conversation in the comment section. As always, be sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit that notification bell so you never miss out on breaking news when we go live or when we upload. Thanks for watching.
You bring the lighter, I got the fuse.